Hello there again, Zangelis, and welcome back to my studio. Today we're going to talk a little bit about emotions and feelings. What are the differences? People have asked me. They use the term, or should I say, they use the words interchangeably, but they're not using it appropriately. Emotions are not feelings, and feelings are not emotions. Emotions do create feelings, and feelings can induce emotions. And Jealous, you're confusing me. So let's get started. What we're talking about is how the physical brain, for you people out there in neuroscience and those people who have NLP training, you're going to understand this completely. It has everything to do with how your physical brain, your body literally, stores information. Memory, as they call it. So keep it short so it's not too confusing. Emotions are something that happens in the now, in the very moment circumstance happens, okay? Feelings are software, think of it as that way, recording of an emotional situation, but it's stored, and then later on it can be replayed, and in replaying it can create the illusion of a new emotional response to an old pattern. So let's just give an example. You have, let's say, take a circumstance, car crash. You hear the car crash. You have thoughts immediately from that experience. Thoughts always come from a circumstance. Thoughts automatically generate an emotional response. So you hear, see, maybe even feel the impact of a car, automobile accident. So what happens immediately is you have thoughts about it. Wow, overwhelmness, shock, fear, fill in the blank. And when you do this, almost instantly, your body, especially specifically your brain, starts to create all these chemicals, these proteins, hormones, serotonin, adrenaline, oxytocin, dopamine, just to name a few. These chemicals then elicit in the physical body all the sensations you call an emotion. So let me rephrase that real quick. Something happens, situation, you have thoughts about it, your body automatically responds with chemical productions, which then elicits all those sensations you have, say, doing after a crash, emotionally. So you might start to sweat, you might have heart palpitations, you might breathe heavier, you might stop breathing, you might get wide-eyed. All the sensations, depending on what it is exactly, will create an emotional state of being. Now, here's where it's a little different. How does it create feelings? Well, it has to store this information first. Now, the way the brain works, it doesn't store for very long mundane situations. There's so much that happens 24/7. Even when you're asleep, unconscious, your brain is recording. But there's so much mundane information coming in on a daily basis that the brain has learned to not accept it all, or not focus on it all, or may put into short-term memory. So in other words, if I tell you there's a situation you had 5 days ago, noontime, you were eating a specific meal for lunch, and you had a slight sensation which you may have not consciously noticed. It might have been bitter, it might have tasted great, it might have been okay, it might have been average, what you expected, it might have been a routine meal that you had. If I tell you to tell me the details of that meal, you won't be able to, because it's so mundane. You don't even remember. Some of you might say, I don't remember what I ate 5 days ago during, So the brain, the body, which is basically the same. The brain is just a special organ, but the whole body still stores, not just the brain. When it's something intense, like a car accident, like a graduation event, like winning at a casino game, the emotions are so intense that the brain automatically takes a snapshot of this intensity. and stores it away. And now when you play back, meaning you reminisce, you go back to your memory about that event, what comes back and flows back is the feelings of that emotion, the shadowing of that emotional response you had. So feelings are in the past. It's just a snippet, a snapshot, a 3D snapshot of the circumstance that got you into an emotional state. That's all it is. Now, here's the thing. The mind, the brain, does not know the difference between reality and fantasy. So if you go back in time and start remembering that crash, I bet you, even if that crash happened 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, you will remember details about it that don't even come close to the details you can remember you having 5 days ago for lunch. In detail, it comes back. You might even start to have the same sensations you had during the crash, because the brain thinks, when you're thinking about the crash 5 years ago, it thinks it's happening again in real life, real time, right now. So again, that feeling comes in, and then it starts creating serotonin, adrenaline, dopamine, oxytocin, other hormones, and now you're having that same emotional experience that you had 5 years ago. So again, an emotion creates feelings. Feelings can then elicit an emotional state. That's what I meant earlier. So I hope this makes it clear. This is how the brain works. This is how your memories work. Have any questions, please leave me a message. I'll get back to you. If you like this video and it seemed to give you some new information, please like it. And I would appreciate if you subscribe to us, because we are always looking for support to support the community. With that, this is Angelus. You have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon.